Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Legends, Known Classics. This is episode number 32. 64 and Doubleshot 3158. I got a Marvel trade and a Boom Studios trade. First that we have is Thanos Zero Sanctuary. This contains the 6-issue third volume for Thanos. Written by Tini Howard, one of her very few miniseries she's done for Marvel. Yep. Now this book, the present day aspect of this miniseries is set after the events of the Crossover Infinity, an event I really enjoyed. It's one crossover I don't hear a lot of people talk about. It's like people have talked about AVX, Fear Itself. Let's see. I think I know Shaolin doesn't get a lot of love, but that's like a little bit. Siege got a lot of attention. Let's see. I know Radio Sin and Access got a lot of attention, and of course Secret Wars, obviously. But Infinity didn't have much to talk about. That was a really good event. Yeah, this is mostly put the Aftermath foot, because mostly put this would call Thanos. This is actually a Gamora series. Yes, long before basically Gamora got her own very brief ongoing that ended after like 6 issues. We have Eric Alavi doing the artwork here. Mostly we focus on Gamora, where she's basically, going to Sanctuary. Well, they refer to it as Zero Sanctuary, the Fullmore Sanctuary 2. Now, she's kind of become the new Thanos, because she killed Thanos at the start of Infinity. Something different for a change. Yep, yeah, stuff with the Black Order. We have like Thanos in the past here. Where basically we do focus on like a lot of the Black Order and Thanos in the past. And a lot of Adam Warlock too. It's like basically Tini Howard took a lot of inspiration from the Infinity graphic novels. Also, the appearance here by the Magnus. Those of you curious, who the heck is this guy? The Magnus. He is a future version of Adam Warlock who became evil. And somehow in present day, he became Magnus thanks to events of, I think it was like Realm of Kings. I think it was. Yes, it was really weird. He's back. He's fine. And we have the basically doing. It's like this book takes a lot of inspiration from the MCU, thanks to like Conquering Planet. The stuff with Lady Death, who for some reason they decided to give her the look of one of the Jedi Knights from Star Wars. Yeah, not sure why, and a lot of this book is basically Child Gamora trying to kill Thanos. Her many attempts basically trying to kill Thanos over the years, before she finally succeeded. So, it's like Tini Howard's sad fact that she had a desire to kill him, but, yeah. There's a lot of focus like on Kid Gamora, like more like teenage Gamora, where she basically is growing up under Thanos. Of course, her family was killed by the Badoon. And of course, also for some reason they had with this version is losing limbs, which I'm like, that's dumb. It seems like more like Nebula, not Gamora. But for some reason they have this version of Gamora losing limbs. Like losing her arm, losing her leg. And I'm kind of like, that does not make any sense, because Gamora in present day doesn't have any cybernetics attached to her. That's more Nebula's doing, not frickin' Gamora. Though I also have a suspicious feeling this book could have been for Nebula, but nope. They switched to Gamora because, well, she died in Infinity War. her character anyway. So she came back to a time dimension. Now here's a good depiction of death, close up of her. Like there is I think she reminds me of not Shakti. There was another Jedi who had a very similar face as one. Not sure why they had a look like this, but she did. Oh, in case you're curious though, Thanos himself is not wearing his classic helmet. He has always been bald. That is perfectly natural. I think a lot of stuff here is interesting. And we also have it where apparently like Gamora sees like another pink skinned one, and the book kind of wraps up with adult Gamora where she is still missing an arm. And we have the Black Order here in this flashback, and eventually Zero Sanctuary is destroyed. And leave off, it's like, yeah, try to live in the shadow of Thanos. That's kind of basically what this book is. But it's like there's a lot of continuity hiccups with this thing. I do enjoy the story, but man, oh man. The biggest, I would say, the continuity gap of this one is retconning that somehow Gamora lost her limbs in this flashback. Excuse me. I don't mind, growing up, focusing on Gamora in the past, that's fine. But why in the world did they pick her losing her limbs? It is a very baffling decision for Tina Howard to do this, especially since Gamora does not have any cybernetics at present day. She is perfectly natural. That's more Nebula doing that. It's like, maybe they're supposed to be Nebula, but for some reason they made it Gamora for some reason. I'm not sure why this was. It's really weird. Next up we have is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Recharged! Volume 1. This contains issues 100 to 102 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Written by Ryan Parrott, who actually does issue 100, with Melissa Farnos does issues 101 and 102. We have Moz Aligo and Margarita does issue 100, with guest artwork by Francisco Mortero. Sonny Garriga does the artwork for the 101 and 102. So a lot of this book is, the first issue here is basically wrapping up the whole Death Ranger stuff that happened toward the end of both Mighty Rangers and Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. It's basically going to KO35. Also, for some reason, we have where Andros encounters his team with, of course, the Astro Mega Slurp, which is, now I get maybe the reason we don't have the Turbo Rangers, because it seems a bit odd they haven't encountered at this point, but I guess it kind of fits. So they deal with them. And the story is effectively wrapped up here with the whole Death Ranger saga. Yes, it is effectively wrapped up here. Everybody's cured, and the Thunder Megazord makes its appearance in here, along with the original Dino Megazord, which doesn't make any sense, but okay. Yeah. Everybody morphs, and yeah, so that's the whole thing with issue number 100. But 101 begins a brand new era, where basically we kind of see how Rita and her gang were put into the dumpster. The dumpster in the show looked a little different than this. So they're all chained up, and then they're put inside. And apparently she's imprisoned there by the Elorians. And for some reason the command center in here doesn't look like the way they did the show. It's like the way the artwork designs it here. It's like they took a lot of inspiration from the big movie. Yep. Then we have where the Rangers doing a little sparring practice. We have also where Aisha is basically flirting with Matt. A lot of fun stuff here. This little morphing time. No Mega Rangers here, surprisingly. They're not here because they wrapped up the story here for this one. And then, of course, they decide to take the Dragon Zord to the moon, where it flies. Which is interesting because they never did the show. Okay. So, Oh yeah, Matt's acting like, and by the way, having this cockpit is different because, yeah, that's a new thing for the thing. And then they arrive on the moon, outside Rhea's palace, which says Bedora on it, despite the fact, yeah, there's a reason why for that. And then we see Goldar running toward them. He's like, Rangers! Goldar is not leading them, like, yeah, he is on the run. Someone's killed Zed. Who? And these weird demons. And then, of course, apparently there was a mutiny. Where Finster, who is now dressed like this now, has turned Zed's throne into a monster. Known as the Royal Throny. I'm like, okay, the name is hilarious. But yeah, so they deal with that. Oh yeah, Rita's back with a completely new design. Yeah, I'm like, okay. Also, Zed has lost part of his... They take up his face mask that he wears. Yeah, and of course, yeah, he doesn't have much of a face anyway, so... And we had, basically, speaking of his friend... We have this mysterious blue creature. Who this is, don't know. And of course, taking the Zord on what she does. And of course, then... Apparently the Dragon Zord's like out of commission, but... Then the Rangers do something completely unexpected. They take Serpentera! Yes. And Rocky's like, why is the blue monkey here? And where's the other guy? Good question. And then Tommy is like, his helmet's cracking. But he's able to, thanks to Tommy. But Matt is trapped there. And then, of course, this guy takes Zed's staff and starts using it like always Zed Reed did in the show. And then they proceed to crash on Earth. And then apparently, like, okay, so Zed, what happened? Zord's on high race. She has come. With her come ruin. Here goes no. So apparently she's now known as Mistress Vile. And she gets what she counts for. And apparently she's after the Zeal Crystal! They're like, what? The Zeal Crystal? But, yeah. Great book overall. 10 out of 10. This book is awesome. Alright, so that is pretty much it particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next up, back to the Brilliant Healer Lives New Life in the Shadows. Okay, thanks for bye.